In last lecture, we have seen analytical solution of one-dimensional transient diffusion equation. Although analytical solution is not really necessary in this course, but I hope that you have gone through it and you have tried the exercise as well. If you do so, then you already have quite a bit of insight about one-dimensional transient diffusion equation. This equation only for certain simple cases are analytically solvable. In general, such equations need to be solved numerically. And in this lecture, we will try one numerical procedure to solve this equation. So let us first look at how we can discretize the diffusion equation. In this case, we have a domain 0 to x to L. So we are at x equal to 0 here, then it goes up to x equal to L. We start from I equal to 1, it goes all the way up to I equal to m. We assume that we have uniform grid that is given by delta x, and we also assume that we have uniform what we call is time step, which is given by this delta t. So in this diagram, as I go horizontally, that is I am going in the direction of x, each division is delta x, my domain is bounded between x equal to 0 and x equal to L. Now in the vertical direction, that is the direction of time, so in some sense the domain is not bounded, it is really open at the top. So I am starting from here, this is here my time t equal to 0. So this is here I start from initial condition, then I take one time step after another and I go up and up and up. If you see this particular point, this is the point that is in, that means in space location this is I, in time location this is n, and left side of this is I minus 1n, right side of this is I plus 1n. Similarly, at the top of it is I n plus 1, at the bottom of it is I n minus 1. With this geometry in mind, let us decide some sort of a scheme that we call forward in time and central in space scheme. So in time direction, we will take forward difference. So we write this del t as ti n plus 1 minus ti n divided by delta t. When I write superscript, this actually means that this is time. When I write subscript, here it is I, that is the space. Usually in CFD literature, you will mostly find that the space direction is given by I, j, k, etc. indices we use. And in time we use n is very common in time. So del t is the difference between ti n plus 1 minus ti n, and n is given by the old time step and n plus 1 is the new time level. Then we have to discretize the spatial derivative, that is del 2t del x2. Now del 2t del x2, we already know how to do the discretization of d2t dx2, and that is ti minus 1 minus 2 ti plus ti plus 1 divided by delta x square. This is a very good scheme, second order accurate. Now the problem is that we have to now decide that we have to take this t at certain time level. So which time level it should be? That is the question, and that is something that we will try to answer in this lecture and in next few lectures. So you will see that we have many options actually at which time level we can take this t. So we will begin with what we call is an explicit scheme. And in explicit scheme, I take this time level here as n, and n is my old time step. So this is old, n is old. N is old, so I take it old. Now in old versus new, here is basically old means we already know the values, new means we have to calculate those values. So I discretize this at old time. That means we already know what happened at n time level. Now the overall equation now looks like this del t equals alpha del 2t del x2. It will look like the left side is ti n plus 1 minus ti n by delta t. Right side is alpha ti n I minus 1 minus 2t I n plus ti n I plus 1 divided by delta x square. The truncation error of this scheme will be del t del x square. So I'll not go through the detail right now, but I suggest that you try it. See that the truncation error will come like this. Now if I look at this equation and I take the n plus 1 and n, I segregate them, I see that this equation turns out like this: ti n plus 1. That means at point I, at n plus 1 time level, what is the value of t is given by ti n, that means at same point at previous time level, plus certain correction. And that correction is alpha delta t divided by delta x square multiplied by ti n minus 1 minus twice ti n plus ti n plus 1. So if you look at this, the right side is entirely known and left side we have only one unknown. So essentially we can simply calculate, knowing the nth time level value, we can simply calculate n plus 1th time level. So if you look at what we call the stencil for this case, is that see that this is nth time level, which is our known time level, and we are taking only I minus 1, I and I plus 1, 3 values from nth time level. So this is 1, 2 and 3 values from nth time level, and using those 3 values I am calculating the n plus 1th time level ti, and that pretty much it is. So it's a very simple system now. So this is going to be our prescription for calculating ti n plus 1. So let's see how we will proceed. But the first thing is that we do not need to solve linear equations or do not need to solve anything. It's just simple calculation because I already know n. So how does this algorithm flow? Okay, so I start from the initial condition, that is ti at time level 0, and certainly initial condition must be known if we want to solve this equation. So ti 0 unknown, and then I know ti 0. So in this equation I can calculate ti 1 now. Here if I plug n equal to 0, then all these zeros are known. Left hand side I have ti n plus 1 and n plus 1 is 1. So that means I can calculate ti 1 from this prescription. Once I calculate ti 1 in interior points, I can now apply boundary conditions for the boundary points. After I apply the boundary conditions, my entire ti1 is now known. I can proceed to ti2, and then I can continue in this way as long as I want to, but my time direction is kind of infinite, so I can go as long as I wish. Okay. Now you can understand this explicit scheme is quite popular because it doesn't require much of solution of equations or anything. It's simple calculation. But this simplicity hides certain limitation, and those limitations we will talk about those limitations in next week. Now you can go through this small exercise. The first one is that you think about that what is the nature of one-dimensional diffusion equation based on the PDE classifications that we have discussed. And then when we have such nature, try to think about it that this explicit scheme, does this scheme conform with that nature? This is a very important question and we'll discuss it later, but you can think about it. Chapter 2 of your textbook contains this transient diffusion equation, and you can read a little bit from there to get more insight about this equation. So thank you. That's all for this lecture. I'll see you in next class.